Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new locals feature match. Hopefully you guys are having a good day, and hopefully you guys enjoy this match. But we've got Speedroids on the left, piloted by yours truly, and on the right we've got my friend Gene piloting the Unchained tactic. Was really looking forward to film this feature match because I don't think I've been on the channel playing Speedroids in a little while, and my man Gene's a bit of a wild card. He's usually on a different deck pretty much every week, it seems like. I think before he was on Mech Knight, and then B-Trooper, and then Salad, and then Trap BA. So I really don't know what to expect when I play against him. But it was very, very interesting to see him on the Unchained strategy. And I realized we also had two Unchained decks on in a row, which hopefully you guys are enjoying seeing a little bit of a variety in the rogue decks that are on here instead of the standard decks that you guys probably have been seeing a lot lately. And I do try to mix it up as much as I can, but we're going to see Unchained win the die roll here, starting with the Abomination's Prison, searching out the Rikea, and then getting access to Sarama by popping the trap. Now, I have very limited experience playing against the Unchained deck. One of my friends who plays it all the time, who was actually on in the previous round, I played against him a lot when I was playing Marincess, and it seemed like that matchup was impossible for me to win. So if there's one thing I know the Unchained deck does, is it puts up a link to that likes to link with your monsters. And that is one thing I did not want to deal with. So I had Imperm in my hand, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to hold the Imperm through the entire combo and just start by Imperming the link. Because I do not want to have to deal with that. If I got to play through traps, I got to play through traps. I just don't want him linking away my monsters. So, and I probably should have impermed the Sarama, but again, I just didn't know. It would be a good thing to imperm. But I lead with the Terror Top here. My opponent's going to actually go ahead and hit me back with an imperm of his own. I'm like, all right, Terror Top, getting hit with imperm, that's fine. I do have a follow-up normal summon here in the form of Hound. One of the best normal summons in Speedroid right now. And I'm like, you know what? This will go through here. We can go ahead and send Duplicate, get another Duplicate off Cork Shooter, and link it to Rubber Band Shooter will probably be fine. But he does have the Solemn Strike for the effect. And then I do actually have another extender in the top of that. Speed Recovery coming in very, very clutch here to go ahead and revive the Hound. And that'll actually let me go ahead and link here into Rubber Band Shooter, allow me to continue comboing. It'll put Hound in grave as follow-up. And it'll also put Speed Recovery in grave, throughout the course of doing this combo to have as follow-up for next turn to add back Terror Top. But, he does have the pop, the trap that he reset off the Sarama, I believe. And that is going to clear the RBS. And I do, unfortunately, have to pass there, as I just have Imperm Veiler in hand. Really don't have any more extenders at that point. He had 3 interruptions, and they were all used very, very early on. So I'm going to go ahead and pass turn. He's going to go ahead and normal summon the Sarama. And I'm going to immediately Veiler that, because after watching what happened last turn, I do not want the Sarama to resolve this time around and get him back another trap, and with it more advantage. So, hoping the Veiler is going to be enough. He's going to go ahead and go right into the battle phase, swinging for 15 and 15 from the Sarama and the Rikea. And one thing I didn't realize in the last match is in order to get into the Blue Dog Link, you need one of the big Unchained monsters. You need the Soul or the Soul of Disaster, which I didn't realize. But until one of my friends, my friend Dave Fields, who always plays the deck, told me that you need one of the bigger ones to get into it. So I was like, because I think when I was playing here, I was like, why didn't he go for the Unchained Soul of Rage? But he needs the, one of the Garnet, the Unchained Soul of Disaster, or just the Unchained Soul, the guy that's in his graveyard right now, the level 8. So he's going to go ahead and pass on just Rikea Sarama. And the Rikea is an interruption here because it can pop a card on the field. Quick effect. So I'm going to go ahead and start by using Speed Recovery, adding back the Terror Top here. And we're going to go ahead and spec out the Terror Top, which I know is going to resolve even if he pops it. And if you guys, I should mention this too, if you guys want to see what my Speedroid deck profile looks like, I actually just uploaded one a couple days ago, and the list I'm playing in this video is the same exact list that I showcased in that video. So no win, no scratch, no -1s in this deck, no losing to Droll, none of that. So you get to see how the deck list actually plays in action. So hopefully you guys like to see that for all my Speedroid fans out there. Now I searched the Tech of Tomborg here, and I was debating on putting onto the field right now, But I wanted to step up into Rubber Band Shooter first, realizing that I could just hold the Tekatomborg for a little bit later on in the combo, and use Rubber Band Shooter here to get extra extenders. Now we're going to see Rikeya actually activate popping Sarama. He's going to try to use Sarama, and I am going to Ash that to prevent him from getting another Unchained Soul out of the deck and get that non-target pop on my Link by discarding a card. So lucky Ash comes in clutch there, and I actually just picked up a set of secret rares that are in German, so add that to the deck to help with the max rarity cause. But I banished an 8 here to get Plane and Car, 2 extenders that I can get access to very, very easily, and that will allow me to resolve Piper once I've resolved Auroradon. And I want to do this specifically so I can excavate a lot of cards off of Hukimadoshi Piper, basically resolving somewhere between a Prosperity and a Duality here. So we're going to go ahead and reveal the top 4 cards off my deck, because you excavate top cards up to the number of other wind monsters you control, not including Piper. So we're going to reveal double Nibiru, Car Turbo, and Marble. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take the Nibiru here, just because Nibiru's pretty good against his deck. He does have to do a little bit of setup to get into his Link 2, and possibly more to try to go for a game, and Nibiru can definitely stop that. So we're going to go ahead and take the Nibiru there. And grabbing another normal summon really isn't going to help me continue to combo, nor is it going to help me slow my opponent down on the next turn. I already have an Imperm in hand as well, so I want to make sure I have interruptions in the hand as well as on the board. So here I go for the Baron. I could have gone Charge Warrior Baron too, but I decide to use Hound here after all is said and done to spec out another Cork Shooter. And then I'm going to go ahead and Synchro 6 here into Juju, because I realize I can dodge Rikeya's Destruction effect if I just send it with Juju. That's one of the reasons why I love playing Juju in the extra deck, because it is that removal, that spot removal that Speedroids doesn't really have that much access to. I mean, outside of Auroradon, I wouldn't really consider Kite Drake spot removal. I would say that's more mass removal. We're going to use Card Trip in the Grave, and we're going to boost everything up, and that is going to be game, and we're into a game 2 here. And as always, I'd like to mention a quick shout out to Imperium Duelist. The mat on the left is from Imperium, as well as those bordered extra deck sleeves. If you guys are interested in picking up any of those products or any other things they sell on their site, binders, deck boxes, and more, check them out at the link below. And please do not forget to use my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order and support the channel in the process. And last but not least, if you guys are shopping on TCG Player, please do not forget to use my affiliate link found in the description below of all my videos. Anytime you guys shop and check out using that link, a small bit of the revenue from your purchase goes right back into the channel and helps out a ton for cards you're already going to be buying. So, getting back to the game here, we're going to see Unchained go first. No surprise here. Getting into a pretty standard combo line. Sarama, Rikeya, having one card set in the back line. Summoning out the Unchained Soul of Rage, setting another card, and passing turn. Now, I did hard open another Imperm, and like I said, during game 1, if there's anything I'm going to hold the Imperm for, it's just going to be the Link 2, because that is what I'm most concerned about. So we turn off the Link 2 again, to my opponent's displeasure, having me have Imperm both games on the Link 2. So we're going to spec out Primitive Butterfly, and then we're going to normal summon Tetherwolf here. And I'm going to do this solely, like, I didn't have to commit my normal summon here, because I could have just gone Butterfly into Tekatomborg into Piper, reveal 1. Then go ahead and make Baron, then normal summon Tetherwolf, but I wanted to go for Tetherwolf first, so I could get access to the extra tokens. The extra wind monsters on field to be able to dig a little bit deeper into the deck. Unfortunately, I don't find any extenders. I just find a Lightning Storm, another Butterfly, and a Marble, which is not terrible. We're going to go ahead and use Butterfly's effect here to increase the levels of all insect monsters I control by 1. And it's going to become a level 6. And that will allow me to synchro a 6 and a 4 into Baron de Fleur. So we have our Omni Negate already set up here before we go any further. And we also have access to a Rubber Band Shooter with the help of the Tetherwolf. Tetherwolf is a card I have considered cutting, and have kind of been very, very back and forth on. But I've been using the card a little bit more lately. you know, outside of just being an extender. Or a starter, because sometimes I'll summon it off of Tetherwolf by popping 2 of the tokens, summoning it with 1 token on field as my opponent drolls me on the resolution of the rubber band shooter here. One more reason to not play things like Win and Scratch. And you know, when you summon the Tetherwolf out there with 1 token, it's a level 7 because it gains the levels, and then you put any level 3 tuner on field, and boom, you have Baron. Just like that. Very, very easy access. Now, I'm going to go ahead and follow up here with Wheel, because I'm trying to not use my additional normal here. I'd like to be able to go into the Rorodon and then into the Shen. But my opponent is going to have Imperial Order, and before I forget that I can, you know, actually negate this with Baron, I take a moment to think on it, and I'm like, you know what, we're gonna negate that. We're gonna let this you know, wheel go through, and I get really lucky here and roll a 6, which is insane. So we're going to summon out a Hound and a Duke. And speaking of Wheel, there are a lot of combos that you can do with Wheel alone based on the results. Whether you're getting off of Hound or you're getting it off like, you know, Hound through Cork Shooter, etc., with a duplicate, or you're just hard opening it. Ton of combos you can do. And I actually have been working on a Speedroid spreadsheet, and it's turning out to be a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. I may even have Aerosol himself helping me work on that. And hopefully at some point I can release it to the public and share all that information with you guys. But we're going to go ahead and synchro the Duke and the other tokens here into Shen. And then we're going to use the Auroradon effect here, attributing the last token to attempt to destroy his other set. And I know it'll get banished here, so I don't have to worry about him resetting it off of any of his Unchained monsters. To be totally honest, I probably should have just popped the link. Because that would have given him an add back, and then I can still try to attack directly. But he does have the trap, which is going to, you know, revive one. Or, yeah, I think add one back or revive one, and then he'll be able to spec that out of hand. And then he gets to use that effect, pitching the Unchained Soul of Disaster and non-target destroying my Shen, which is a little rough. So I'm basically forced to just kind of like, you know, take a step back here and set the duplicate and pretty much pass turn. I could have attacked over his Link too, but I really don't want to give him a card back next turn. Being under droll hurt a little bit. Just by having the Terror Top there, that's why I wanted to go for the wheel route, because that was going to be a lot better trying to go through Droll. And then in the standby phase of my opponent's turn, we're going to use the Baron effect here, targeting the Shen in the grave because it's any level 9 or lower monster. We'll return the Baron back to the extra deck as an Omni Negate and a pop to make on the following turn. And now we have this Floodgate on the field again, because he obviously wants his Unchained monsters in the grave. To be able to revive or reset and then destroy, and you know, recycling the trap cards and everything. So getting back the Shen on field is really strong, and I see him going right into the battle phase here, and I'm like, he must really want to get rid of the Shen. So when he, you know, starts the battle phase right at the start step, I use the duplicate, banishing a Primitive Butterfly, and then bouncing back his Unchained Soul, and you know, basically force him to make a different play here and have to deal with the Shen. And luckily for me, it is enough because he's just going to pass on that. And now the one thing I have to worry about here is his Link 2 because it is live. It is not impermed anymore. So I actually go ahead and normal summon Terror Top to start my turn. And I know he can only link with special summon monsters, so my Terror Top is fine. I was a little hesitant here grabbing the Tekatomborg, solely because like he could actually just quick link with the Tekatomborg before I tag it out, which I was like somewhat expecting him to do, but I was feeling not so terrible because of that, because I had Duke Engrave, and I also had Hound, so I could get a level 3 tuner on board anyways, and then just make Juju and send the Link 3 that would make the Unchained Soul of Anguish. So we're going to summon out Card Turbo here off the Tekatomborg. Because I don't need to summon a Duke right now. I don't want to just unnecessarily have a Duke get banished because of Shen. So we're going to summon out Card Turbo. We're going to synchro into Juju. And this is definitely going to force out now the Unchained Soul of Rage. Otherwise, I'm just going to send his monster. And, you know, that's that. So now he's going to link into the Link 3, which luckily is not a quick effect. It's only during their turn they get to use it. So now I feel like I'm kind of free to play here for the most part. So I'm going to try and recover here with Fukiminoshi Piper. Reveal 2. We take a marble. Not terrible. This can be a bit of a follow-up if I decide to link into another rubber band shooter because we are on 2, and I can, you know, link off with the Shen Shen and the Auroradon if I want to. Or I can link off with the Shen Shen and the Piper. So we're going to go battle phase here. Shen Shen's going to go over the Anguish, and we're going to recycle a Duke back to the grave. With Shen Shen's very, very clutch recycle effect. Like, so absolutely clutch. But he is going to get to summon the Unchained monster from his hand. Discarding Lord of the Heavenly Prison to non-target pop the Shen Shen again. So, he wants to keep that Shen Shen off the field. And I'm just trying to make a play here that's going to net an interruption because I can't let him go uninterrupted next turn. Because if he top decks really well, like into an Aruha or a Rikea, I might just start to lose control of the game. So I decided to extend a little bit further here, and link into another rubber band shooter. And I already have the Marble Machine in hand, so I don't need to, you know, use the banish effect right away. So I'm going to go ahead and normal summon the marble, search the card turbo, and now I go ahead and decide to use the other effect here of the rubber band shooter. And I think so I banish an 8 here. And I think I go for a Hound and rubber band plane. I get lucky and get the rubber band plane here. And yeah, I still have Hound access and Grave. So we're going to go ahead and, yeah, summon card turbo, Synchro 5 for Goita. So I think you guys can probably see what I'm going to go for at this point. Use the Hound and Grave, recycle the Tekatomborg, and we're going to go ahead and summon out a Korok Shooter from the extra deck to be able to make Crystal Wing with, to make it so he cannot out the Crystal Wing in the battle phase because his monster is level 5 or higher. And I have a monster negate for any push that he tries to make. And I also have Hagoita Engrave plus Duke for really, really strong follow-up. So feeling really, really good here. And plus I have the rubber band plane in hand, which is also really, really nice. So my opponent is going to lead with the Unchained, or the Abomination's Prison. Luckily, I have the Ash there. And that's also going to put a different attribute and type in the grave to bring back Shen Shen on the next turn. So just by ashing him, I've just gained myself another extender. Kind of makes up for the -1 that Ash technically is. Now here my opponent normal summons the Sarama. And he's going to go ahead and target the Unchained Soul of Disaster in the grave to attempt to set it and then destroy a card. And he's going to destroy the Unchained Soul of Disaster. And I'm going to go ahead and negate that. I was thinking about negating the Sarama, but I know that's just going to float. So I might as well negate something in the graveyard because cards cannot be destroyed in the graveyard. So if there's anything that Crystal Wing would negate, I'd rather be negating something in the graveyard so it doesn't trigger a potential other effect. And it just leaves him with the 2 bodies that he has right there. And I know he can't battle phase over my Crystal Wing because, you know, I'll win the battle phase there with the attack gain effect, and it'll take 3k. So he's basically forced to crash the Sarama now into the Crystal Wing, taking 15, and using the Sarama effect here to spec out another Unchained Soul. And here he goes and actually attacks over the rubber band shooter, obviously, because you don't want to leave that on the field. And then he actually does something a little bit unexpected. He actually goes ahead and overlays here for a Dingirsu, which I was not expecting, to be totally honest. And the Ding sends off the Crystal Wing, and he completely clears the board. So on a somewhat level playing field here, and I do top deck a Tekatomborg, which is insane. So I'm going to go ahead and lead here with Duke, summoning out card, because I cannot summon the Korok Shooter because it wasn't properly summoned. And we'll bring back Hagoita, and then the summon Hagoita will summon Plane. That's going to drop the Ding by 600. We'll summon out Tekatomborg. That is going to go ahead and summon Dice here, I believe, because I still have a Cork Shooter left in the extra deck. And I can go ahead and use that here to actually use Cork Shooter's Revive effect and get access to Baron again. So, just off a few cards and like the massive graveyard setup that Speedroid, usually has, able to make a very, very explosive play this late into the game. So I do decide to revive the materials. And then here I think a moment on, what to do with Dice. We're going to make Cork Shooter 5, synchro the 2 5s into Baron. And then we're going to use Shen Shen effect here, engrave, banishing Tekatomborg and banishing Ash. And we'll summon back the Shen Shen here. And then I have Car Turbo engrave. And with my opponent being at 61 here, this is literally exact game by boosting the Red Eye die up by 800, putting it to 900 attack. And I miscalculated the life points here in real life. I got the 18 over the Ding on the Crystal Wing and Baron. That was correct. But for some reason, when I did the damage over Ding with the Shen Shen, I made him take 500 there instead of 16. So he should be at 900. Yeah, and I put the little message up on the screen there for those that maybe aren't watching with audio. But then, we swing in directly with the dice. He draws a nip for turn and scoops. So Speedroid taking it 2-0. Looks like you guys were correct in the polls. Yeah, if you guys want to see more of my content, click on one of the videos popping up on the bottom of the screen right now. And last but not least, a special shout out goes to our Divine Level channel members, and they are Cadillacs84, Pony Start, Key Sidgers, Tweeter0226, and Black Ninja Money. Thank you guys sincerely so much for your extremely generous support of the channel.